Hello everyone and welcome back to the MCFC Lads Podcast, and it's actually been a very, very good week. It feels a bit strange to say, Alex, but it has been a good week for City. Yesterday, obviously a big win over Napoli, 2-0 in the Champions League, pretty straightforward. How are you feeling, mate?
Feeling good. I mean, it's obviously a big week with the 3 games in the space of 7 days, and so far 2 down, 2 wins, can't complain, 0 goals conceded, 5 goals scored. It's much improved from sort of how we ended before the international break. There's a good vibe around the club again. And going into the Emirates, it kind of feels like we've given ourselves a situation where if it doesn't quite go to plan and maybe we do lose, it's not the end of the world like it would have been had we had not such a good last 2 games.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by the team yesterday. We both said on the last podcast, if anyone caught it earlier in the week, we both said we thought there'd be quite a lot of rotation in that game. As much as it was a big game against Napoli, first Champions League game, home game, you want to get off to winning ways. We thought, given the game was Thursday, Arsenal's on Sunday, there's a very short turnaround there. We thought there was going to be quite a lot of rotation, both of us. It was an unchanged 11.
Yeah, we were both surprised, and I think Pep probably got it right. I mean, I guess we'll see for sure on Sunday, because if the players look dead, then maybe not. But I think we both said when the team lineup came out that, I mean, I guess his logic was he wants to get the team sort of match sharp, he wants them to be cohesive, he wants them all to understand their positions well, and the way they'll do that is by playing more minutes. And I thought it was just another step forward from United. I thought we slightly looked a little bit better. Obviously, the 10 men did help, and we'll go more into the game in a second. But I think Pep made the right choice in the end, and it was a good win, and we got ourselves off to a good start. And I said in the last podcast, I think Napoli's probably our second hardest Champions League game of the group phase after rounded away, and we've won it. So it gives us a good chance of getting into the top 8.
Yeah, I think generally the kind of predictions we made for the Champions League were decent. I think generally quite a lot of the games we thought, were quite straightforward were. For example, I called Bayern to beat Chelsea, Barca to beat Newcastle. There was a few weird ones though. Club Brugge smashed Monaco. PSG smashed Atalanta, we called that. Liverpool scraped it past Atletico Madrid.
Madrid got lucky as well.
Yeah, Real Madrid scraped it past Marseille. Dortmund away at Juventus was a real highlight of a game. 4-4. That was unbelievable. Benfica stumbled at home, and obviously Mourinho's now going to be coming in after their loss to Qarabag. Tottenham won. Arsenal won. Generally, three of the English teams won. Not a bad week. 4, actually. 4. Not a bad week for the English sides. But, Alex, what do you make of the City game? That's the main thing. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, I think on paper it was always going to be a difficult game. We played the Italian champions, and even though they were part 3, they're one of the better teams in the competition. I had as my dark horses in the last episode. I think the red card obviously helped, but even without the red card, I thought we started really well. We started really promising. We dominated the ball. Every time they got it, we sort of just snuffed them out before they even got into our half. The only time they came close before the red card was when KDB got on the ball, played a brilliant crossfield pass. It's just such a shame. I think the only shame of yesterday is that we didn't get to see more of KDB. It would have been nice for him to play the 90 or at least 80. And it was also a shame, I thought, that when he got subbed off, he had to run off because it was early on in the game. It would have been nice if at 80 minutes it's 2-0, he gets subbed off and he gets stand ovation. It's to walk off, get his moment. But that was the only real downside. I thought, as I said, before the red card, we were good, we were solid, we dominated the game. We ended the first half, I've got no idea how he didn't go in at half-time in front. The amount of chances we had. Their keeper, I thought, was very, very good yesterday. I've never heard of him before yesterday, but I thought he was very, very good. Plenty of chances for like Reinders, and Foden had one, I believe. Doku had a great chance for a corner as well. And then second half, Foden to Haaland. What a turn from Foden. What a finish by Haaland. And that Doku goal as well. I mean, I guarantee you now he does not score that goal 12 months ago. So improvement is clear.
Doku goal was unreal. Doku goal was unreal. Haaland as well. 50 goals in 49 Champions League appearances is absolutely unreal. I mean, I tweeted out after the game, I said, if somebody got 50 and 100, you'd be looking at him going, that's a great record, 1 in 2 in the Champions League. Haaland's got more than a goal a game, just about, which is just ridiculous. Like you said, he made that red card as well, making a good run, got cut down by Di Lorenzo. I'm not sure, to be honest, how the ref didn't give that as a red card straight away. It was a bit of a strange one. Like you said, KDB coming off shortly after tactically. But ultimately, I don't really want to see KDB dunk on us. As much as people were saying it'd be nice to see him score, get an assist, whatever.
No, I don't agree with that.
I was almost a little bit relieved when he came off. It had been nice to give him a better moment. We gave him the tifo at the start of the game. But when he came off, I was almost thinking, well, at least we don't have to see him score against us. So yeah, there was quite a few subs in the game. Nico got 30 minutes, Savinho got 20, Rico Lewis, Ake and Bob all came on for the last 10, 15. I like the lineup. I like this idea. I was saying to my dad before the game, I like the idea that we've won a game, we're sticking with the team, because that's kind of like a bit of a throwback kind of strategy. We have done it in previous years where we've kept the team in kind of the running at the end of the season, but to keep the team after a big win in the derby shows a lot of confidence in those players. It says to the players not in the team, you better perform when you come on, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the other thing is a big reason as to why some of our losses have come, I think, is a lack of sort of experience in the team, and the fact that it's a whole load of new players. We've been playing games with like 7 players that weren't here 12 months ago, so more minutes together can only benefit them. And I think the logic of keeping the team together is clear, and it made sense, and in the end it worked.
Yeah, Donnarumma had one good save off a corner, I remember, but he didn't have too much to do. He claimed quite a few corners as well, I thought, in the first half. Kuzanov, Diaz, Gvardiol, O'Reilly, all solid. I think it's good to see as well. When they had that red card, O'Reilly was kind of getting in the box as well. He's a big presence. And I like to see that. Rodri played 60. Pep said in his press conference last night or today, whenever you want to kind of say it was released today. He said Rodri has basically just been making sure the staff and Pep know how he's feeling in the game. He knows it wasn't won at 1-0 against Napoli, but Nico came on. So we're not sure whether Rodri will play against Arsenal, but Bernardo, Reinders, Foden was unreal. I thought Foden was so good. 8 chances created, or 8 key passes, whatever it was. Doku, amazing goal, and Haaland, great header from that Foden pass. So yeah, generally I thought the whole team was good, mate.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The defence looked the most solid it's been in a while, to be honest. Like you said, Donnarumma had nothing to do apart from the one corner. Although, I mean, he still feels so comfortable when they have corners when he's in goal, because he just claims everything. He's a bit of a joke, to be honest. But like you said, the back line, absolutely solid. They didn't have much to do, but I thought the fullbacks as well going forward looked impressive. I thought Kusanov, usually when we see him at right back, he's sort of just sat in defence, but he made quite a few runs forward yesterday and put in some decent crosses, I thought. So that's a good side to the game. It's a good side of his game to see. Like I say, Rodri's a bit of a concern, but to be honest, I'm not really concerned if we have to play Nico at the Emirates, because I think he's looked solid whenever he's played this season. So I think as a fullback, that's absolutely okay. And he'd say Foden, I mean, I think he's back. He looks as sharp as he did 2 seasons ago, and that's great. And that's going to be hugely important if we want to go far in any competitions this season.
At the end of the day, the way I see the Foden situation, last year, he'd be the first person to tell you he didn't have the best season. The whole team was off. Foden didn't have the best season, but he was the PFA Player of the Year the season before. He got 20-odd goals in the league, I'm pretty sure. He was unbelievable. You think about that moment at the Bernabeu, that goal against United when we were behind, that goal against West Ham after a minute to win the Premier League. He was turning up in the biggest moments, in the biggest games, without fail every time. So these goons on Twitter and these rival fans that don't want to see him do well, obviously last year they were going to criticise him, and that's why we as City fans had to stand behind him. And up to now, he's had a great season. A few games in, as we know. But hopefully, as you said, Pep said as well, we've got the Phil of old back. That's the Phil we want. We want the hungry Phil that's scoring, that's getting the assists, and that's playing every week, because that's what he couldn't do last season with his injuries, with stuff like that going on. We want to see him back, ready to go, refreshed, and that's what it looks like Phil Foden is, which is exactly what we want up the Blues and up the Foden. Right, we're on to the quiz now, Alex. I'm pretty sure... do I have a lead, I think? A slight lead? I think I've had one more week than you.
Yeah, I think you've had one more week than me. So I think
I've had one more week.
I want to say you're like 85 ahead, maybe, or 7.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We can
put the scores. I'll put the scores on screen now.
Yeah, nice. Well, question 1, Alex. This should be easy. If you're playing along at home, make sure you think about your answer and let us know how you did out of 5 in the comments as well. Alex, first up, Haaland's goal against Arsenal last year in the away game came at what scoreline?
He equalised for us, made it 1-1.
Yeah, correct. City smashed Arsenal 5-0 in the 2021-22 season at the start. I mean, what we'd do for the same result there. Can you name me 3 of the goal scorers?
Right. I remember Rodri scoring from outside the box.
Yeah. 53rd minute.
I remember Ferran Torres scored a header.
Yeah, 12th minute.
And then, other than that, I'm now struggling. I've got a feeling Gabriel Jesus scored.
Yes, you've done very well there. That was a tough one. Gundo scored after 7. Ferran Torres got 2 goals on 12 and 84. Jesus got 43rd minute goal. Rodri 53. That's a very, very solid answer. Question 3. Huddersfield coming up. Obviously, this will be the last podcast before that game, so we'll just touch on that in the Carabao Cup. My question to you, Alex, is when was the last time we played Huddersfield? What year was it?
It was, I believe, Kev's return game in 2024 in the FA Cup.
Correct. January 2024. He's on 3 out of 3. If you've got as many as Alex at home, you've done extremely well.
I'll take that all day.
Arsenal finished second in the league how many times in the Premier League era?
That's a difficult one. Obviously, we know they've done the last 3.
Let me just check this one because I did check it before. I want to double check it. So get your answer in.
I'm going to just throw the guess out there and I'm going to say 7.
I think it's 6. I'm double checking. Oh my God, it's not. I don't know why Grok lied to me. It's 9. It's 9 times.
Oh, wow. Second place FC.
They finished second in its inception in 1992-93, 98-99, 99-2000, 2000-01. Oh, wait, there's so many. Wow. Second again, ole indeed. Because Arsenal finished second 9 times. They've also got 3 in a row, I believe, Alex.
They have got 3 in a row at the moment.
Which is crazy. I'm glad I double checked it. You were wrong to my first answer, but also to the second. That is ridiculous. Final question, Alex. To go 4 out of 5, if not 3 is a solid score.
Yeah.
Gianluigi Donnarumma has played how many professional seasons at the age of 26?
Is that included in this season?
It does include this season.
Well, I believe he started at 16, so I'm inclined to say 11 seasons.
Wow. Well, I believe he made his debut at 15 and something, but it says 11 on Grok. So we are using Twitter AI to answer the question. If it's not 11, scream at me in the comments. Alex has gone 4 out of 5, and it's an unbelievable performance.
I'll take that all day.
I'm hoping the players match on the pitch against Arsenal, which we'll move on to now, Alex. It's a big game. We've played Arsenal, it seems, most seasons at the start. Like I said, the 5-0. We played them, obviously, in that game where it was 2-2 crazy last season. How do you think this one's going to go?
I think it's going to be an extremely cagey affair. Last year wasn't necessarily, but I remember the one when we went to the Emirates after the treble season and Martinelli scored in the last minute. I think it'll be a dull game. I think it's one that maybe... It's hard to say whether or not it's come at the right time for us because it does feel like we're starting to sort of... I feel like the vibe around the place is good now. If it had come last week, I think we'd be saying could be a long old day. But we go there a lot more confident than I was last season. I think a point would be a solid result. We're not going to celebrate a point, obviously, if we get it, because only Arsenal would do that. That's a second place thing. But it would be a solid result. But I think it'll be a cagey affair. I think it'll be close, and I think probably one goal will decide it in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a game where both teams don't want to lose it. So, I mean, a draw wouldn't completely surprise me. Would I take a point now away from home against a potential title rival? I'm not saying I'd take a point, but I don't think it'd be the worst result. I do want to go there and see if we can win. And especially after we lost a couple of games as well. I do want to see us go there and win. Last year was horrific, we both know that, but it was so expected. Me and you came out of that game and there was Arsenal fans around us saying it was the best game they'd ever been to.
Ridiculous.
Which
Mental.
shows the stature of their club and where they've been. For us, if we'd beaten Arsenal 5-1 at home, it wouldn't even break the top 20, which shows how lucky we are as City fans.
Well, we've just said the 5-0 game and we couldn't even remember all the goal scorers, never mind.
Exactly. Well, there you go. So it's a big game. It is a big game. We can't dance around that. But Arsenal are pretty new to challenging for the title. They've not won one in 20 years. I was in Nappies last time they did. You would have been barely born. So there you go. It says a lot about Arsenal. They're going to want to win the game. They want to bounce back after losing to Liverpool. They have had some tough games. But ultimately, they did win last week. I think they are a decent side. They won in Europe away at Bilbao midweek. They've had a lot more time to rest. I think in terms of favourites for winning this game, I think it probably does have to be Arsenal. But I think I'm not going to predict us to win. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I am going to predict a 1-1 draw. How do you think we should line up for this game, Alex?
I think it's definitely Donnarumma. I think there's absolutely no doubts in this one.
Got to be. I mean, like we said the other week, sounds harsh on Trafford, but ultimately he's put in two great performances. The one against United in particular. He's built for the big games. He actually will send shivers down the spine of some Arsenal
after last season
fans as well. I mean, I don't think Odegaard is available for the game, but last season for PSG, some of the saves he made in that tie were just ridiculous. There's one Odegaard smashed and I was convinced it was in. Donnarumma saved it. It's a big presence in the goal. In the middle of the goal, and some of the community questions we'll come on to later on actually do touch on Donnarumma as well. So yeah, Donnarumma in goal. Left back Ait-Nouri's not going to be available. Is it an O'Reilly? Is it as easy as just chucking O'Reilly in again?
I mean, I wouldn't complain at all if it was O'Reilly, because I think he's put himself in a good light after the past two games. I think I would potentially consider Ake on the basis that O'Reilly's not 100% capable defensively. He does a good job, but Madueke's a good winger. He tore the Forest fullback out big time last weekend. I wouldn't be complaining about O'Reilly though. I think he probably will go with O'Reilly, but Ake's definitely a possibility at left back, I think.
Yeah, so obviously Ake potentially at left back. I'm happy to go Ake. O'Reilly's done a great shift there, 2 games, but maybe it will do him some good to just get pulled out of the team for a massive game like that. He's put in 2 good performances, and he might play against Huddersfield as well. He might play next weekend against Burnley. Should we go Ake left back?
Yeah, go on, we'll go Ake left back.
2 centre backs. Is it just Gvardiol Diaz again, or do you want to see a John Stones in there if he's available?
Well, I still don't know about his availability, but given he's not played in the week and we've got 2 clean sheets in a row, I think it's got to be Gvardiol Diaz, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, Gvardiol Diaz, and then right back's got to be Cousinov again.
Yeah, guaranteed. It's got to be him.
Unbelievable so far, and he's filling in that right back spot very, very well. I did actually pull up, by the way, that we'll come on to after this predicted lineup. I've got the team from last year away at Arsenal here. So that's some generational preparation from me there, guys, that you can't expect on any other podcast. I've actually gone as far as Googling the team we had last year. So we got the back 4 sorted. I think Rodri does play. I do think Rodri does play. I know it's questionable availability or whatever, but should we stick Rodri in there again?
Yeah, if he's fit, he definitely plays, and I think he probably will be fit. I think it's probably just precautionary yesterday.
And then who plays in front of Rodri is a question. Reinders seems... I thought he was pretty good against in the chat. Before that, I don't think he had the best game against United. I think he was decent yesterday, personally.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think probably will be Reinders, and it will definitely be Foden, given that Foden's just been excellent recently. Again, I wouldn't be complaining at all if it was Nico Gonzalez instead of Reinders, but I think he probably will go with Reinders and Foden as the 2 in front of Rodri. Yeah,
Reinders and Foden I'm very happy with. We saw Bob come off the bench. Obviously, Bernardo could play on right wing, but do you think it'll be Bob or Bernardo on that right wing? That's probably quite up for debate. Or Savinho, will he play on that side?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see Savinho playing at all, just because he's not really played any minutes this season, and when he's come off the bench, he's not really impressed so much so far. I mean, he's not really had a chance yet, but for me, it's definitely between Bernardo and Bob. Personally, I'd like to see Bob, but as we said last week, this is predicting what Pep will do, not what we would do. So I think it will be Bernardo, but I would like to see Bob.
So we'll go Bernardo right wing, Haaland up front, but who on the left wing?
I think it's got to be Doku. I think his last 2 performances have been very good. 2 assists against United and then a goal yesterday. I think he's looked very good. He's in good form, so for me it'd be foolish. And I think he'll absolutely destroy their right back, whoever it is, whether it's Timber or White or whatever. Yeah,
I was in podcast mode a bit then. I don't even know why I asked with such a question mark at the end of it. It's obviously going to be Doku. That goal yesterday, the spin, beating his man, firing it in at the back post, amazing finish. Looks like Doku's finishing's getting better, his chance creation, and when he takes on a man, you can actually see him finishing off with something. So I'm loving seeing Jeremy Doku in some good form. Hopefully he carries that on to, obviously, the game against Arsenal. Doku on the left wing. That's our predicted lineup. But we'll compare that now to the team that started last year, Alex.
It's going to be very different.
In that 5-1 loss. It was Ortega in goal, who is now our 4th choice goalkeeper.
Yeah, mad.
It was Gvardiol left back, Stones, Akanji and Nunes, with two in the middle of Bernardo and Kovacic.
Right.
Foden on the right, who was
Right.
subbed off. Marmoush in the middle behind Haaland, who was subbed off. Savinho left wing and Haaland up top. So there's been a lot of change, like you said. There's only a handful of players there the same.
It's very hard not to argue that the team just looks a lot better now. And I don't want to disrespect those players because all of them are sort of heroes in their own way at Manchester City. They've all had their moments. But, I mean, players like Kovacic, Akanji, Nunes, they're all good players, but they're just not quite the same level as the players we've got to replace them now, I don't think. And Ortega as well, he's a great goalkeeper, but he's just not Donnarumma. So, and even the likes of, you say, Stones and Foden last year just wasn't either of their years. So we go to the Emirates on Sunday in a much better way than we did last year, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, every City fan likes Ortega. You think about that amazing moment he had away at Tottenham to potentially win us the league, that big save from Heung-min Son. He's a very nice guy, always sounds good and speaks well in the interviews. Played a lot of minutes as well last season in quite a poor season for the club, generally. Season before, treble season. Everyone wishes Ortega the best, but he is ultimately now... I think he's on the way out, isn't he? Pep didn't put him in the squad yesterday. It was Bettinelli and it was Trafford on the bench. Is he going to find another club, do you think? Is it a Saudi destination for him?
It's surely got to be. He's far too good to be a fourth choice keeper, but ultimately that's what he is now. He won't play a single minute for City this season. That's essentially confirmed. So I'd like to think for his sake he will, but equally maybe his family are just happy in Manchester, so maybe he just doesn't want to uproot his whole family and move. He's on a decent wage. He's fairly old, so just take the pay packet, enjoy his life. It's a comfortable life. And if he does that, I wouldn't hold him against it. I mean, it's his right. We gave him a contract, and so fair enough. He gets to move on a free transfer in the summer and pick his move regardless. Anyway, but I'd like to think that he'll get his minutes elsewhere, and I'd like to think we'll be able to sell him before the Saudi window closes.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an angle on this one, by the way, that I kind of cooked up yesterday, and I've not really heard anyone else say it. People might have, but basically, I remember last year, Chesney retired from football, right? Completely retired from football. I think he was at Juve, finished up. He was pretty old, finished up. He was on the beach, whatever. Barcelona have a complete injury crisis in the goalkeeping department. Ter Stegen's out, loads of players are out. And he gets brought back out of retirement by Barcelona, plays a full season, gets to Champions League semis, has a full season, basically as an emergency signing goalkeeper on a free agent, whatever you want to call it. He was literally retired. Do you think Ortega's just kind of waiting, biding his time, expecting a big club in Europe, whoever that may be, or a opportunity to come up that would be, a first choice goalkeeping role that he couldn't expect now or a few months ago? Is that what he's waiting for? Maybe.
I mean, it's an interesting angle, and one that I've not thought of, and it could be. I don't think he's maybe thinking that will happen, but maybe in his head he's thinking,
it's an option.
If I stay here, then I'm happy here, and if that happens, then that'd be perfect. But yeah, it's definitely an option. It's a good shout for me, to be fair, but we'll just have to wait and see. I've got no idea what will happen with him.
Yeah, well, best of luck, obviously, with whatever he ends up doing, but like you said, he's not in our plans. And the Calvin Phillips one's a bit strange as well. He's in the squad training. He's not in the Champions League squad, but he's listed in the 25-man squad alongside Ortega for the Premier League. I think that's more just that they exist within our club. We employ them. We might as well chuck them in. Is how you kind of see it as well?
Yeah, if we've got spare slots, we might as well, because if a worst case scenario happens and we get 5 midfield injuries, then we'd rather have Calvin Phillips in the midfield than some 16-year-old in the academy that's really just not ready yet. So if there's slots there, you might as well use it. I think that's probably the logic. I can't see him playing any minutes Premier League. Although, who knows, maybe we might see Calvin Phillips feature off the bench against Huddersfield next week. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll obviously tweet it out on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, asking for a few questions. We didn't really get too many in the comments that still in date, if you know what I mean. But leave your comments in the podcast comments for next week. We'll be recording, I imagine, probably Thursday next week after the Huddersfield game, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lil Heaven said, how do you think of City's start to the season compared to last season and compared to the treble season? How do you think Haaland is this year in terms of goals? And Rodri, will he make his 23-24 peak? So a few questions in one there. We'll start off with, what do you make of the start? Well, we're only, 5 games in? 6 points in the Prem. We've won the derby. We've won our opening Champions League game. But ultimately, last season, we had more points and had looked better off, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you just take wins at the start of the season. And I think at this point last year, we're thinking this is probably going to be, this could be 5 in a row. Yeah. So the season was a better start last year, although we didn't look convincing, and in the wins this year so far, we have looked more convinced than any of the start of the games last year. So I guess that's one angle of looking at it. But I mean, ultimately, you'd rather take last season's start if you could. But, still a long way to go, and last year was an absolute mess from November onwards. And I'm sure this year will pick up more points during that period instead.
Yeah, it ties into Sleepy Boy's comment as well, who's asking about the squad. Ultimately, we have got a better squad.
Yeah, 100%.
I know we've got injuries and stuff. We do have a better squad than last season. The second question, obviously, on that other one I just said, Haaland, I think he could put up similar numbers. He's looking that way to the treble season. He's obviously not going to quite have a KDB behind him. But, yeah, I think he's looking at the same numbers as the treble season, if he can stay fit, like Pep said. And Rodri, it's too early to say with Rodri. He's playing minutes, which is good. He's getting subbed on and off. Hopefully he'll play against Arsenal, but ultimately we don't know whether he looked good again. He looked good against Napoli for me, but we don't know whether he's going to return to quite, where he was at winning the Ballon d'Or. We'll see.
Yeah, I think with Haaland, I can definitely see him getting high levels of goals again. I see him getting a 30-plus goal Premier League season. Maybe not 52 goals in competitions, but it's going to be a ridiculous season by any normal player standards. And then Rodri, I can't see him returning to his peak in 23-24. Especially this season, I think, he's got to get his feet again. Van Dijk took a while after his ACL to just get back to his top level. And to be fair, you've got to remember, it's a Ballon d'Or winning level. So, I mean, maybe not that level ever again, but, I mean, if he gets 80% of that, then we've got ourselves the best defensive field in the world still. And ultimately, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and Dante from 1894 asked, he said, do we have the best spine in the league? Which is a great question, by the way. Donnarumma in goal, Diaz, Rodri, Haaland. Is that the best spine in the league? I think it potentially is. I mean, the Donnarumma signing, me and you both, I don't know if question might be the wrong word. We did almost not believe it at first. Trafford and Ederson seemed like that was the situation that we were going to roll. Donnarumma came up in the market. I'm glad we got him now because he's looked very good. But is he part of the best spine in the world? Well, Donnarumma is going to be the best goalkeeper in the world. He's going to be crowned that when the Ballon d'Or ceremony thing happens. Diaz is a great centre-back. Rodri is the current Ballon d'Or holder. And Haaland's the best striker in the league. So I think without a doubt, we do have the best spine of a team in the league.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue with that. I mean, there's a couple of players that we're sort of waiting to see what level they end up performing at this year. But I mean, on paper, that spine is pretty perfect, to be honest. And if the players around it can just sort of mould themselves around that level, then, I mean, we've got a great team.
You compare it to like a Liverpool, what would you say? Alisson, Van Dijk, pick someone out of midfield, McAllister or someone. That's the problem. There isn't that, as much as they're good players, there isn't that absolute beast in the middle like Rodri that does everything. And then again, do you pick a Gakpo as a striker or do you pick a Salah on the right? Do you know what I mean? It's
probably Isak these days, but
yeah, Isak, good shout actually. I forgot about him. But yeah, I think Liverpool's competes, but I think we beat it. Arsenal's Raya in goal for me isn't as strong as Donnarumma. Gabriel or Saliba, Rice in the middle, and then Gyökeres up front just is nowhere near on Haaland's level for me. So, yeah, they got good spines. Maybe some would say a better squad, but I disagree with that. People massively underrating City. But yeah, some good questions there. Make sure you leave them in the comments. Leave us your thoughts. Make sure you're following us on Spotify and YouTube if you do enjoy the content. And yeah, moving on, Alex. Final segment of this podcast. Premier League predictions. Now, like I said last week, 10-10 it was. That is a great week from the both of us.
Very good from both of us.
You obviously get a point for getting the correct result, a point for the correct margin, or if you win to 0, for example, and 3 for an exact score, and we drew 10-10. 31-30 to you. It's neck and neck after 4 weeks. I want your predictions, Alex, so I'll let you go first on the first game of the week, Liverpool-Everton.
I can see Liverpool winning that one. I'll go 2-0 Liverpool on their first game.
Yeah, I'm on 3-1 personally. I'm on 3-1. I think Everton will get a goal. They've looked decent going forward. I just think, and Liverpool, to be fair, leaky at the back, but I think Everton lose that game, but they lose it 3-1 with a little bit of pride left in them. Brighton, Tottenham. This is a strange one, I could see this going a variety of ways. Yeah, I'm going to go, listen to this, I'm going to go 2-2.
I agree that it'll be a draw, I think. I think it's definitely the best game in the 3 o'clock, so I will be tuning in. No, I won't, because it's not available in the UK. But, if I wasn't in the UK, I would be tuning in. I think it'll be 1-1.
Okay, 1-1. And I want to know what you think of Burnley Forest.
Forest can't afford to lose again, surely, after that horrendous midweek performance. I'll go Forest to win that one 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Forest. I'm going to go 1-0 Chris Wood dagger against his former club. West Ham Palace. Everyone, by the way, every single person I speak to is saying that West Ham are completely finished. Palace, though, I believe, aren't they going to be in Europe next week?
I don't think so, because Conference League's got 2 less games. So
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they have this week off.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, they're not then, but still, I think West Ham gets something. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, Palace unbeaten in 16 games in all competitions. I'm going to say Palace will win this one 2-0.
Wolves, Leeds. Now, that is 2 teams that could go down. What do you think for that one?
Yeah, 2 bad teams. Wolves have had a horrendous start. I believe are they still on 0 points? Yes, they are. Leeds obviously got a win and a draw. They were unlucky to lose last week. I'm going to say Leeds snatch that. No, Leeds are going to draw 1-1.
Okay, United, Chelsea. Now, a little bit of insight. I'm actually going to Sky Sports, somehow fluke that one, on Saturday morning. And I'm going to be coming up to Manchester again on the train full of both sets of these fans, which will be amazing. Not. United, Chelsea. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. Cole Palmer.
I'd like to think it'll be that kind of result. I see Chelsea do struggle at Old Trafford, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea.
Fulham, Brentford.
I'll go with a boring 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 Fulham. Bournemouth, Newcastle. I'm going to go Newcastle to bounce back after a loss against Barca. 3-1 Newcastle. Big performance for them.
I'm going to say it's going to be a tricky game. Bournemouth look decent this season. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Bournemouth.
Sunderland have had a bit of a bounce since they came up. Some decent signings, but Villa will beat them 2-0.
Villa haven't scored in the league yet this year, so it's going to be trickier than maybe some anticipate. I am going to say that is going to be a 1-1 draw.
And I'll let you go again for the Arsenal game.
The biggest game of the weekend, I'm going to say City going to come out the Emirates with a solid point in a 1-1 draw.
I think I was going to say 1-1 as well, but I can't now. Fine, I'll go 2-2. 2-2. It's a bit more of an exciting one. I actually am for that game, by the way, as things stand, potentially doing something pitch side with City. So if you're at the game or whatever, look out for me. And yeah, should be sick. So I appreciate all the support, obviously. Anyone that does, like, comment, whatever, speak to me at the games, anything you do, share the posts, whatever you do is, really does help support me in these mad chances at things that I get. So yeah, I appreciate everyone out there. Alex, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Quickly, Huddersfield next week, mate. We'll just quickly brush on that. Should beat them, shouldn't we, really?
Yeah, I expect lots of changes. A hopefully comfortable win, and fingers crossed, a good draw in the next round.
And the pie's at full time. Last time were only £1. So if you're leaving the ground, get yourself a cheap pie. What a load of nonsense that is. Right, see you in a bit.